Welcome to our part one of our journey through Switzerland. Hope you're ready to come chill out with us. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Jordan Beck.
And I'm Leitra Beck.
And this is Around the World with Beck.
Right now we currently live in England and we are trying to visit 50 countries before we leave. This is number 16.
Switzerland!
Woo! Switzerland has not wanted us to come here, or at least that's what it's telling us. But before we get too far into that, stop right now, hit that subscribe button down below. It helps our small channel grow a whole lot and we really appreciate it. Now, we were supposed to arrive first thing this morning in Geneva. However, our flight got delayed several times over. We didn't actually get here till about 2 p.m. But we made it because this is not our first attempt to get here. That started about 3 months ago.
Originally when we wanted to come to Switzerland, we wanted to come in October. And that didn't work out because of some of the activities. So we ended up moving that to November and then found out November was wildly expensive. So we moved it to the week before Christmas. And let me just tell you, I'm so excited that we're finally here in Geneva, the starting point of our journey. But it was quite a hassle to get here. You have to have 6 documents, which include your boarding pass, your PLF, your pre-departure COVID test, your Swiss COVID document, your own COVID certificate. Just a big hassle to check in and go through. And we were already late taking off. We were kind of glad that we don't have a whole lot going into Geneva today, other than seeing what the city has to offer walking around. One of the biggest scares that we had before arriving in the country was actually last week when Switzerland said that British citizens were not allowed in the country. While we're not British, we decided to just kind of play it safe, and we were kind of leaning towards staying home for Christmas. And actually within like 2 days, they reversed the change. And apparently it freaked a lot of British people out because a lot of cancellations were made on the news. A lot of people's holidays were ruined going to Switzerland. And it was very apparent on our flight where there were only 30 people. Once we arrived in the country, we were able to find a nice little bus pass that allowed for free public transportation from the airport to the city center. And then from there, we checked into our hotel. So we're staying at a hotel that is probably way too fancy, but I think it's kind of fitting if you know the story of the Ritz-Carlton. Our hotel is so nice, and it's free with an upgrade to a view of Lake Geneva. We dropped our bags off, and now we're gonna spend the remainder of what light we have to explore what Geneva has. So prices in Switzerland are notorious for being very expensive, and just the food and the restaurants and the things that are offered here. So we're trying to play it smart with us being here for an entire week. So majority of the time we're gonna be eating through the grocery store. We're gonna be picking things out and taking them with us. But sometimes you have to get things that are local, like for example, chocolate. So now we're on the hunt for some good chocolate. After walking around for what seemed like forever trying to find chocolate because there are so many options, we finally settled on this, which is from this fancy little shop that sells these massive chunks of bark chocolate. This chocolate's not cheap. A lot of the chocolate is not cheap. Specifically, this is about $2 per piece. 16 pieces in here. You do the math. And then once we came back, decided to relax and don our robes and just enjoy the hotel room. We discovered that Marriott decided to give us a little bit of a sample tasting of chocolate. So all that walking around, and it was already back at the hotel. With that, we'll call it a night, and we will see you guys bright and early for our long day of traveling.
Today starts pretty much as usual, as in getting up and hurrying up to pack and make sure we have everything, including our brand new Swiss Army knives, which Jordan has been talking about 4 months about getting one, and we actually managed to get them engraved. Nothing too special, just that we will remember this trip, not that we'll forget it. So we are currently on a double-decker train that is going to take us all the way to our destination today, and we are super excited because there's so much cool stuff to see, including lunch at a very special location.
It was quite the cut and transition from the last spot that we caught up. We were just busy trying to leave the train we were on to find our connecting train. I guess the one was canceled, so we had to speak with somebody to figure out where we were going next. And we don't really speak French, so being able to catch the bus that was connecting us from there to the other local mountainous train was kind of a hassle, and couldn't really film a whole lot. But one of the things that we did prior to this trip was book the Eurorail Pass, which allows for 4 separate days of unlimited travel. And so far it's been pretty easy. You just find your route, you click that you're on there, and it generates a pass available for you to use. But now that we're here, the mountain, we're getting ready to climb on a cable car to the Glacier 3000.
Thus far, our plans have only been slightly derailed. We were originally planning on leaving our suitcases at one of the train stations. However, the lockers for that, way too small to put our bags in. So we were like, we're just gonna take it with us. We're gonna hope for the best, and maybe they'll have some type of storage here. We couldn't confirm anything online. However, after we got here, we were standing in line to get tickets, and one of the workers came over and just asked us if we needed a spot to store our bags, took it for us and put them in a room. So thankful for that, because I don't want to make the trek with our big suitcase. Now we're just waiting to get on the lift, and Jordan said we're going about triple the amount of elevation that we're at right now. We're at 5,000 feet. We'll see if he's right. After you get off 2 different cable cars, you kind of walk through a gift shop area, and then you go up the stairs. There are 2 different restaurants you can eat at. There's a grab and go one that looks like there's no reservations, or the place that we had reservations at, which was a beautiful glass surround brunch area.
In order to get in, you probably have to have reservations, but you also need a Swiss COVID pass. And if you have your vaccination in a different country, you can actually contact the canton that you entered through. So we entered through Geneva. You can contact their office and submit your original COVID vaccine, and they'll issue one within 7 days for like a digital pass. Pretty easy.
Yeah, it's super easy, just like a little QR code that they're able to scan when you go in places, which is nice, much easier than we've had time with before. But brunch was amazing, just a big plethora of different food that we could kind of pick and choose from. And then as we were getting up, they were like, no, you get Prosecco. We're like, don't worry, we'll sit back down for that. While skiing is one of the most popular things that you can do here, if you're not gonna do that, then you've gotta try the peak walk.
It's so cold and so windy up here. But let me tell you, I am so glad we finally pulled it off coming up here and just going on this vacation. It's incredible. The views are breathtaking and I could spend forever up here. So cold up here, even your teeth are a little sensitive. So we're gonna go back now across the bridge. It's really rickety with the wind. Just those that don't like heights like me, kind of, yeah, we gotta go back. And we're gonna take the cable car down to catch the bus. And we counted for the right amount of time to then head on to our next destination. Actually going back down the mountain was a huge hassle because the second cable car only goes every 20 minutes. So we ended up missing the bus, having to wait a whole hour. But we finally were able to find the right bus and take that all the way to the end point of Gstaad. Hopefully I said that right. Now we're waiting for the next train, which will take us towards Interlaken. And it's actually maybe kind of good that we were late on the bus because this one is going to take us on a very cool train ride. It's the Golden Pass Panoramic train. We stayed at one of the top of the line hotels in Geneva, and now we're staying in something that's by Interlaken for a decent price, and we kind of got what we paid for. As we've traveled all through Switzerland, the hotels that we've seen on the outside match this one, so it seems to be some sort of a traditional style hotel. Let's just give you a room tour. So you have your beds with these cushions, not entirely sure what they are, almost like sleeping bags. And you have your sink in the corner over there. Nice view into the street. And if you make your way this way, you have squeaky floors, but you also have the bathroom, which can't figure out how to turn the light on, but we'll throw some B-roll over here as to the actual size. Last thing to mention is we get a cool little key, actual key to the room. And for now, we're just gonna get settled and we'll catch up with you in a little bit.
Good morning from Interlaken. Our hotel last night was not nearly as nice as the night before. I think we spoiled ourselves early. But you know what? It's actually affordable, which here in Switzerland, it's the best we can ask for.
One of the things that is included with the room price is not the length of the bed, that's for sure. But
Jordan's way too short for it.
But the breakfast and the visitor rail pass, which gives us transportation from this village we're in to the center of Interlaken.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I'm excited.
So today we're going to be doing an activity that I'm equal parts nervous and excited for. I would say overall pretty terrified.
I am not terrified. I am super excited. We are going paragliding, which is something I've always wanted to do. Behind me right here is where we are originally supposed to land. However, you might be able to tell it's a bit foggy out. Too dangerous to go through the clouds to land in this spot right here. So instead, they're giving us an extra special treat, and we are going to be taking a van up the mountain, then a cable car further up the mountain, and then walking a little bit further up the mountain. And we're just gonna do our whole paragliding experience above the clouds. I'm super excited.
Nervous. Good. Wind is perfect. You're a good runner. So I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1. We start easy running.
Okay.
When I say run, 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 you can do
Full speed.
Try not to sit down, just keep running all the time.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, start running. But it comes up. And now you can go closer.
So while the pictures and videos look all graceful, the landing wasn't quite as graceful. Basically, as we're coming down, he's trying to yell over the wind, saying this is how we're gonna land. And in ideal circumstances, we would land and run and just kind of come to a complete stop using the paraglide. It's not what happened. What ended up happening was as we come down, we had a bunch of snow waiting for us. So as soon as we landed, our feet sunk into the snow and kind of just anchored our feet, and we fell face forward into the snow. Super great. The snow is up to about my knees, which if you know how tall I am, it's quite a bit of snow. And also, unfortunately, as the clouds continue to shift up the mountain, Glacier and I ended up having to land in different locations, so I wasn't able to get her wipe out. Paragliding was so much fun. It was a little nerve-wracking as we were getting ready to take off, just because watching it is a lot better than experiencing it. But after you get through the running and you just kind of hang there weightlessly and have the cool air breeze across your face, it was actually kind of warm up on the mountain, which is weird. The sun's beating down on you, but when you are paragliding, you have all of that wind coming at you and it's pretty chilly. So we can't thank my mom enough for buying us some extra winter clothes before the season. So thank you, Mom. As I was waiting for Glacier to land, I was talking to some of the tour guides and they said that in Switzerland, a lot of things close on Mondays. So don't really know what we can do, and that wouldn't have been a problem because we originally had something planned for later this evening, but we got a call the other day saying that they wanted to move it to a later date. So now we're kind of wandering around, figuring out what we can do with our time. For now, though, we're gonna walk around and see what is open and just kind of prepare for tomorrow.
Good morning. We did not have a lot to show you guys yesterday outside of the whole soaring towards the Swiss Alps thing. Beside of that, we really were just trying to find food that didn't cost $1 million. And then we kind of just got ready for today. And today we have the evening activity that was supposed to happen yesterday, happening tonight. Super excited about it. And then surprise, surprise, guys, we're gonna take some more trains today. So let's go. Last day, part 1 of this video.
We're here at the top of Europe. It's about 11,000 feet in the air, or about 3,500 meters. After about a 30-minute train ride inside the mountain all the way up here in the cog train, which uses these gears so that way it doesn't slip back down. It's quite the journey up here, but these views are incredible. Something that you do not want to miss out on. There's actually a little balcony right over there. We're gonna try and go outside and grab some footage as well as get a reaction to how cold it is at -9 degrees Celsius. So actually once you get out here, the -9 degrees Celsius temperature is not so bad. Thankfully the building right here is blocking most of the wind and there's enough sun to keep you warm.
Yeah, it's so quiet and peaceful out here. You can just hear like the birds chirping and there's not that many people. Part of the platform's actually closed off. It says due to icicles, which I'm okay with that. I'm not about to get struck by an icicle anytime soon.
The only bad thing is the platform seems to be built on a peak, so the closer you get to either edge, you can look down and it's quite a drop and you get weak knees, and I'm not here for it.
Jordan's getting a bit of vertigo looking straight down through the floor.
Yeah.
But this is a really cool view. If you look down in this valley behind us, you can actually see the area where our hotel is at, which is neat. We've come a long way today. And we're just gonna enjoy the views up here and then go inside. There's like a tour that you can do within the floor. So gonna check that out. We are in an actual ice palace right now. The ceiling, the floor, everything completely made of ice. It's weird. It's not as cold as I thought it would be and not as slippery as I thought it would be. I say that and I almost fall down. But if there's ever a time to feel like Queen Elsa, it's right now.
So there's lots of things on top of the mountain as well, apart from the exhibits. There's restaurants and shops, but the most important thing is there's Swiss chocolate on top of the Swiss Alps. Now we do have something planned with Lindt chocolate later in part 2, but you might as well check it out while you're up here. So we're gonna see what differs.
A little chocolate excursion there. Just kind of real short, you just walk around and there's like some signs that are showing you like how they make the chocolate, which is fun. And then of course a chocolate shop afterwards, which we purchased some, not as many as I was trying to because Jordan helped reel me in because we've got a chocolate tour that we're doing in a couple days. But they also gave us some samples, so. I feel a little frozen.
So this is the plateau portion of the top of Europe. It's pretty cool. There's lots of just amazing spots to take pictures and video. This is also probably one of the last stops on the journey through the top of Europe. So we're just gonna kind of look around for a little bit here and then catch the train back down to Interlaken, where we're gonna try and see if we can find lunch, because as we mentioned before, food here is pretty expensive. There's many ways to get to the top, but one of the coolest and fastest ways to do it is by the Eager Express, which is a gondola. It's very modern. I mean, just look at this view. This sucker is so fast too. It's like a roller coaster when you launch out of the platform.
Kind of in a rush to our next location, but we just got off the gondola and immediately across is this hot chocolate. Oh my gosh, look at the label on it. I'm so excited. Okay, we got a train to catch.
So some time has passed since we've last updated with you. We just grabbed some food to eat back at our hotel. Again, everything's pretty expensive. However, we're now going to be doing an activity that we've been looking forward to for a while, and that was pushed from the other day. So we're just waiting for the bus, which might be over there, where we'll go into Interlaken to meet up with our next tour group.
We are going to be celebrating the winter solstice today, December 21st, by some nighttime winter sledding. I'm looking forward to it. We just took another gondola. It's just like train gondola, train gondola. Took another gondola up this mountainside, and we're gonna be sledding on our way back down. The village below us is really beautiful. However, it is pitch black out. So I don't know how any of this footage is gonna turn out, but we do have the GoPro, so we might get lucky that there might be some nighttime footage that we captured.
If I want to turn to the left, I'm going to put my left foot down on the ground, and hopefully slowly the sled is going to start to turn. Let's say you're traveling down at maximum speed, probably don't put your leg out at 90 degrees, huh? Start in and just run it out a little bit. We do stop in a few points to make sure everyone's okay, bring the whole trip together again, huh? 2 rows, that's one behind the other.
Oh my gosh, it's so foggy, I can't even see you. That was freaking amazing. So much fun. I mean, you wouldn't think that you could get the speeds that you do on that thing, but oh my goodness. We'll have to see later if the GoPro footage worked. If not, we got a couple shots. And now it's off to warm up with a bit of fondue. Let's go. All right, Jordan, first time having fondue. How do you feel?
So good. Honestly, you would have had to have rolled me out of there. The cheese is just boiling constantly. The bread's it's so much.
It's cheese and bread. That's what Jordan lives for. Perfect.
So that concludes the first part of Switzerland.
Yeah, I hope you guys had fun watching it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to like and follow us on socials.
And we'll see you in part 2.
Part 2. All right, bye.